Hi, it's Liz from Sew for Home, and here with me are a few of our projects that feature ragging. You may have heard the term before. It basically means assembling a project so the seam allowances are visible on the outside rather than the inside, and then they're left to gently fray or rag as your project is washed and dried and used throughout its little project life. Now, if you've run into it before, it probably was on something like blankets or pillows like these, but it's such a fun and fluffy kind of finish that we decided to venture outside the traditional and use the technique on a set of totes. Our ragged edge totes have kind of a casual look with maybe even a touch of the outdoorsy in how we've combined the solid canvas with a printed flannel. And really for this project and any ragging project, it's best to stick with a woven fabric that has a high cotton content. The fabric for our totes is also layered with both fusible fleece and interfacing, just a lightweight interfacing. So they definitely have structure, but they're still a little soft and slouchy. Now, as shown here, there's a cutout template to download for the fleece and interfacing to ensure there's no extra bulk that could interfere with our cool reverse box corners. All these wonderful layers means you will be sewing through some thickness. Not a problem for our Janome machines. They have the power, precision, and I think the best options for fabric feeding. So although we did use a standard presser foot and a 1/4 inch seam foot for some of the construction, for the majority of the steps we recommend either an even feed foot or engaging your machine's built-in fabric feeding system. We used the Janome AccuFeed Flex fabric feeding system, which is what you're seeing here. And the additional feed dogs that are incorporated into an even feed foot or the AccuFeed Flex foot, they are going to be perfectly matched with the standard lower feed dogs on your machines. So the two of them are working together to keep the thick or difficult layers moving evenly without shifting across the needle plate. To get the right look for our ragged edges, we did quite a bit of testing prior to starting, and we determined that actually a combination of fringing and ragging gave us the best finish with the rag right up against the seam. The fringing around all the panels of both the flannel and the canvas happens prior to a second washing and drying. The instructions have lots of detail online, including our recommendation for washing with a fabric softener. These totes start as just one large layered panel that is folded and then seamed along the sides. So to add dimension, we used reverse box corners, and we show you all the steps for how to measure, how to add a seam across the corner that you're going to use as the folding guideline, and then how to secure it with that double cap rivet. More cool hardware. Grommets on the front and the back are what we use to clip on our double webbing handles, and there are two slightly different sizes. We added a tone-on-tone monogram to the larger tote. Now, as always, our thanks to Janome America for sponsoring this project. Their support is what helps us continue to provide projects free of charge to you. And that support, it's really not only for fabric and notions and the amazing machines to pull it all together, it also allows us to be able to take the time to research and experiment beforehand, essentially to work out all the bugs, like this project's fabric preparation or the best order for construction. We figure it all out beforehand, so it's easier and smoother for you. All that pre-planning on our end makes this a beginner-friendly project on your end. So our supply list and the cutting details are separated, so it's easy to make just one tote or both. The large tote finishes at about 16 by 12 by 4, the small tote at 13 by 12 by 3. So we hope you'll give them a try. Thanks for listening and happy sewing.